Welcome back to the boot room. This week we'll look briefly at the 1-0 away defeat to Leeds United. Watford set up in an initial 4-2-3-1 formation which changed to 4-2-4 when the Leeds defence had possession of the ball, and this is yet another pressing tactic not previously seen. This was presumably to prevent the hosts from building up play from the back. However, the Hornets' pressing position was extremely low and allow Leeds to play out with a high degree of accuracy. Leeds play a 4-1-4-1 formation, and if and when the Leeds fullbacks look to play out, Calvin Phillips, their defensive midfielder, positioned himself as a fulcrum to allow a passing option to again release any pressure and enable them to play forward. The Leeds front line play in a classic Bielsa style, which is a very high and intense press as a group. They press far higher than Watford's counterparts and truly affect the quality with which the ball can be played forward. In this instance, Troost-Ekong looks to play forward as we have seen in other games. Under pressure, he surrenders possession, in this case back to the Leeds keeper. The effect of the Leeds press is to greatly reduce Watford's quality to keep the ball and in effect win the ball back far higher up the pitch and therefore in a far more threatening position. Now, look at these statistics and ask yourself, if when we have a goal kick, is having the two centre-backs requesting the ball from Foster when they are either side of the 6-yard area a good tactic? This is not a critique of the individual players, but certainly demonstrates that Bielsa's aggressive and hard-working strategy pays dividends, and because to play this tactic takes more energy, it requires more running, and the Leeds players therefore have a different level of fitness and sharpness. They know what their roles are, and they buy into the coaching philosophy. Here, a Leeds ball is played from left to right and Rose's header is intercepted. Whilst the Leeds attack is defended, the ball comes back to Dallas as Leeds are pushed forward aggressively again, ready to win the ball back. In another instance, Rose is under pressure and passed the ball to Dennis, who has his back to the Leeds defence. He plays to Sissoko, who instead of playing forward the way he is facing, turns out and looks to pass the ball to Troost-Ekong. Look at Dan James shut down Troost-Ekong. Ekong is utterly static and neither comes to the ball or shields it to play with his left foot when James is pressing. His pressing action seems to surprise the Nigerian skipper and Leeds forge yet another attack. Here Troost-Ekong receives a ball with his back turned away from the play and once again the Leeds forward surprises him and again possession is lost. You get the idea. The goal. And apologies if this is going to sound like a stuck record. Troost-Ekong is picking up Rodrigo, but the Spaniard makes a run past and beyond the near post and Ekong passes him on to other players. Troost-Ekong is therefore not marking anyone and attempts to make a header from a static position, but exactly as Brighton and Wolves, he jumps underneath the ball. On this occasion, he manages to get a slight flick on. This takes Joshua King away from challenging for the ball behind him and sees Kuchka at the back post stoop. His reaction to the ball is identical in the fashion that Sierralta scored his own goal. However, as Kuchka's body shape is not towards the goal, he heads it back the way it came. The ball falls to Llorente, who reacts quickest ahead of Sierralta, Ekong and King and steers the ball home. Watford don't react really at all to going behind, continuing to press the ball from a different postcode, and we were extremely fortunate that 2 minutes after going behind and having made no attempt to play the ball, let alone getting a touch on the ball, this was deemed to be a coming together. On the one occasion when we did actively press the ball in the Leeds defensive third, it nearly paid dividends. Kiko was dispossessed after an overlapping run, and Sarr and Tufan combined to win the ball back and quickly strike at goal, but over. Injuries to Joshua King and Sierralta saw Kabasele and Sema enter the fray. In the second half, Tufan was removed for João Pedro, and for a time we played 4-4-2. But as with many of the tactical changes recently, this appears to be in the bracket of, well, we'll try this. A Leeds own goal was disallowed due to a perceived infringement by Kabasele that could have been called either way, but VAR failed to disagree with the official. But I think we all know an equaliser would have been far more than Watford had deserved in a game that they barely showed up in.